Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Welcome to the NDE WORLD Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome back to the NDE WORLD Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and this is my lovely hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn. Hello, Miss Daphne Lynn. How are you today, girl?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Fantastic. It's good to be back in the studio today, and
Yes.
Looking, as always, forward to today's episode. And I heard you've got a pretty good question that you've scraped up in your little collection there, and
from
got
some
some
of
really
the
good
groups.
comments on that as well. We're going to really going to go over that today,
Yeah,
more specifically,
And-
you know.
yeah, and it is a really good question. I just when I saw it and saw the answers to this, I'm like, this is an episode in itself.
Sure,
So I'm like,
perfect.
let's get this and use it for one of our topics. So
Sounds
that's
good.
what I did.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, for those of you who are new, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. And don't forget to go to our website. That's nde.world for more information. And so let's just jump right into it, Ms. Daphne. Why don't you go ahead and just maybe go ahead and cover the actual comment or the
question?
Was it a question? Okay, cover the question, and then maybe we can kind of go over the different comments and see if we can kind of get some perspectives and some nuggets out of this. How's that sound?
Oh, it sounds perfect.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So the question is this. Said, I would like some opinions on NDEs that say you have to atone for your sins because it seems to me to be contrary to the theory that we are here to learn. And above all, we forgot why we're here. I need to be soothed.
Okay, yeah, that was more of a statement. I would like some opinions. Well, on NDEs, now I personally, and as far as I'm aware, we haven't personally actually had an NDE ourselves, but we've
No.
studied tons and tons of them. This is what we do,
Exactly.
and so we're very comfortable with the concept and of the near-death experience and things like that.
Right,
So,
right.
well, so let's break it down. This person wants some opinions, okay, on near-death experiences that say that you have to, I guess this is the part she's looking for, you have to atone for your sins.
Yes.
Okay, so,
yes.
well,
So
yeah,
what
and
is
because
this atonement or atone for your sins mean? Okay, from
That's a
a
good question. I'm
religious
guessing-
perspective, I know the answer,
Yeah.
but it also applies non-religiously as well.
I think atonement would be just something that we all should be doing as far as, you don't want to harm anybody to begin with. That should be your main focus. You shouldn't have to do it. But if you ever cross a line with someone and you hurt someone, either, spiritually, physically, mentally, verbally, any kind of abuse, if you harm another soul, it's up to you to atone, okay?
Right.
In other words, repair, I guess for lack of words, or
Yeah.
make things right with that person that you hurt.
Right.
You atone. Am I kind of close?
Okay,
or
yes you are. Yes you
somewhere?
are. So I went on ChatGPT.
Okay.
I love my ChatGPT for some of the answers to things. So I asked the question, or I said atone definition, and then please define atone from a religious point of view. So I've got two different statements here that I'm going to share with you for those
Sure.
that really don't know or understand this. Okay,
And we're talking
so
about atonement.
atone.
Okay.
Yes. So atone definition is the verb atone generally means to make amends or reconcile for a wrongdoing or a mistake. It involves taking actions to repair or correct past offense, often
I
with
like
the
that.
aim of seeking forgiveness or restoring harmony. The concept of atonement is not limited to religious context and can be applied in various areas of life where individuals seek to address and rectify their errors or misdeeds. And
I
that's
love
exactly
that.
what you were just saying. So
that's
yes, you
pure.
get that. You get what atone is.
Okay, that makes sense. And it's not really tied into a religious thing because we all are human. You know, it's going to be something.
Right. It's making amends.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
you know, if
fancy
you
word
mess
for that.
something up, fix it. You know, or better yet, don't mess it up to begin with. But sometimes things happen. You
Right,
know? But
right.
if you hurt someone or harm someone or anything, just fix it. And that fixing it or that putting forth that energy and that effort to fix it. Okay, that's a kind of a double-edged sword. You actually get to take care of, and that's the actual atone that you can fix that right now, and that will benefit you on the other side. Say, for example, in your life review, because you're going to have to either fix things now, or
Right.
you're going to have to experience it on the other side. You see?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Oh, wait, either way, you're going to have to experience it.
yeah. So you said there's a religious definition as well for atonement.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, for the answer to please define atone from a religious point of view is this. From a religious perspective, the term atone is often associated with the concept of atonement. Atonement refers to the act of reconciling or making amends for sins or other wrongdoings, typically in the context of one's relationship with a higher power or deity. The idea is to seek forgiveness and restore harmony with the divine. In various religious traditions, atonement may involve rituals, prayers, repentance, or other acts of contrition. The belief is that through sincere efforts to atone, individuals can be spiritually cleansed and forgiven of their transgressions, thereby restoring their connection with the divine and addressing the consequences of their actions. Different religions have specific practices and beliefs surrounding atonement, and the term is often deeply rooted in theological and moral frameworks.
Got it. Okay.
So now you know.
Kind of the same, but there's a little bit of a difference there because
it's making amends with the Creator.
You have to go through a certain avenue to do it, whereas and the
Right.
original meaning of it, it's anything with anyone, anytime that you do
Exactly.
anything, you make an atonement for it. Not that you have to, be going through any type of atonement to get to God or between you and God, or maybe the
Yeah.
atonement of
Right.
of a God's blood or anything like that, So
Right.
it does have a little bit of a difference in the
And
religious
that's what we're going to
aspect.
see in these answers from the NDEers themselves. Religion per se does not carry over. So
Right.
let's get into some of these answers because
sure.
there are some really good ones on here.
Very good, very good. Well, you want to jump and take the first one, or you want me to grab the first one, or it's up to you. It
If
doesn't
you
matter
can,
to
that's
me.
fine.
Yeah, let's see. So the first comment or first response to that says, "You must understand that we are in a low density here. We came here to experience this density for the trials or contrast of messing up, learning and moving beyond those things and experiencing the other side of them when we learn. You are perfect in your true essence. The real you is in spirit on the other side. This is just an experience here made to have the contrast of this life. Rise above and know that you are perfect."
Wow, that's a really good answer. I mean, just really looking at the self within, the higher self.
I like that, as you put that.
Rise above and know you are perfect. The way we come into this world, we are not born with any book, scroll, anything with us
Religion,
in our
none of
hand. That is all programmed in us as we grow.
As far as religion and
Right.
the way we think and influences and
Right.
education, you're right.
Yeah, so it's a behavior that's learned, so you can unlearn things too.
That's right. That's the beauty of behaviors and also belief systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one says, the NDE goes beyond religion, beyond God of any religion.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, and it's true because out of the thousands of NDEs that we've looked into, everyone comes back and said that there is no religion on the other side. Religion doesn't matter. So if If religion doesn't matter, and when you understand that religion is going to divide you, anytime you have to be part of a cult or have to go through a religion just for you to understand anything, or the illusion that you understand everything, you need to question it, because like Daphne said, when we come into this world, we are perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You may, the spirit, the being that comes into this world. Okay. However, that's a brand new canvas. Okay. A beautiful
Right.
white, pure canvas. All right. Now you take a little bit of this parent's influence, their paint, and just kind of slap it up there on that canvas. All right. Now you take the school's influence, what they're putting in your head, and you pour that up on that paint, on that, on that canvas. And next thing you know, your television, your cartoons, everything, all the
then
media.
you start drawing in that
These days, you have the internet, you have all kind of stuff that's just poisoning who you are. So nobody is perfect because of the influence of the world, but we come into this world pure.
We come into the world perfect.
And a
Yeah.
lot of people live more pure lives, more perfect, what we would call more perfect lives.
Right,
So,
right.
But I like that part. It's there is no religion on the other side. So again, it has nothing to do with your sins. And correct me if I'm wrong. Have you ever heard, out of all these thousands of experiences that we've studied, have you ever heard anybody talk about sin?
No.
I haven't.
I haven't, no.
I
Actually.
haven't. And I've never heard anything about the judgment or any kind of judgment. I heard that you judge yourself, like during the life
Right,
review and
right.
stuff.
So many of them come back saying that you do not feel that someone else is judging your life. You do your own judging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is going to hit below the belt, if you get to
Right.
feel what others felt, which, so.
Right, and that ties in with religion. The next statement from the question was, religion doesn't apply to an NDE experience. It isn't a religious experience. I mean, and we hear that so much.
Yeah.
Religion does not carry over. It's for this side so that you can follow the path that you want to follow, and that's good. If you're seeking spirituality or religion, then that's great. You believe, you have faith in that. I'm not condemning anybody for that. I've been there.
I think all of us should have known this as children growing up. If we had our parents were taught as children growing up and their parents, but times have changed. We don't live, especially over here in the Western world in the United States, we don't have lifestyles where we're all sitting around the fire as a family growing up and sharing spirituality and teaching them about life and the stars and the heavens and the natural world and that spiritual upbringing. Ours over here in the West is either no spiritual at all or maybe more religious. We have a very strong religious culture, very strong religious. I wouldn't say that this country is a very spiritual country, though. I think we're pretty dark as far as spiritual things go, especially morally, because we are at the bottom of the barrel in a lot of statistics when you get over into the debauchery things in life. And I don't even want to go there. That's a whole different context,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, this next one here, I like it, says, I don't know of any NDEs where one has to, quote unquote, atone for sins. You judge yourself.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what we were previously stating. I mean, that is what happens on the other side for almost every one of these NDEs. The religion does not carry over. So if it doesn't carry over, what's the purpose of it here? For me, I'm looking at it from my perspective. I mean, if it doesn't carry over, then I don't need to be a part of it.
Let's look at that one comment right there, Daphne, because I think that's the secret to it all, and especially people who aren't really familiar with this world of NDEs and things like that. Let's just take just a second, and we've got time, where it says that you judge yourself, because this is so conflicting with mainstream religion,
Exactly.
especially like the heaven and hell and the salvation and the judgment, and it's a whole different picture. And I'm, like yourself, very familiar with the like the life review and how it works and the way it's presented in so many different cases and all, but it's pretty much the same thing that, you get to plug into the matrix and you get to feel all the love you put out, all the hurt and harm you put out, to everyone. And you also get to feel from their perspective how they felt it. And that's where it's going to come back. And, so all good that you've done, you're going to get it back 1,000-fold, 100-fold. all the bad, guess what? Get ready, it's going to hit. And you're going to also feel it from the source's perspective. So it's just,
Exactly, yeah.
it's going to be a total, because you're connected with everything on the other side. And you're back
Exactly.
to that oneness, and you realize it. So you can't get away from the things that you've done. That's what we call, it's the ultimate, what we call karma. Okay.
Right.
The real meaning of that, anything that you do in this world is going to carry over into that next world.
Right. And that's where religious people or religion itself state that something else is going to judge your deeds.
Right.
And we're seeing from these NDEers experiences that that's not the case.
No, and I've heard so many stories where they've actually talked to the Spirit and talked to God and talked to the Source and even see Jesus and talk to Jesus and
Yes.
Krishna and all these spiritual people, and it's just all love. There's no
Exactly.
judgment.
Everyone's
it's just
welcome.
all love. So,
Yeah.
but you don't get out of it. In other words, you will reap what you sow, either in this realm, anything that you do. Sometimes we call it that instant karma.
Instant karma, yeah.
But it will come back to you. That's and Jesus said that. Yeshua said that in the Gospel of the Nazarenes. He said God will forgive you of all your sins. He said that's no problem. He said, but you can't get away from the law of cause and effect, or the law of sowing and reaping. He said you will reap what you sow. So
Right. So you'll feel it on the other side.
yeah, you're gonna have to you plant a seed of hate. It's going to sprout somewhere, and it's going to come back either here or on the other side.
That ripple effect, that one drop of water in an ocean or a lake is going to have a ripple effect. It affects everything, everyone.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, because also, from what I understand, in that life review, when you're feeling all this pain and love and joy and hurt that you put out, it's coming back in all at once. That comment you just made.
The ripple effect?
Rippling effect, yeah. People don't realize that you also get to experience the rippling effect. In other words,
Exactly.
you don't
yeah.
understand if you've harmed someone, okay? If you harmed another soul, you don't know how that soul's life was affected, okay? How it went on and affected their
The people
their
in
spirit,
their lives.
the people, yeah, their children, their family, their friends.
Right.
You don't know. So you're right. I'm glad you brought that up, because from what I understand, you also have to experience that rippling effect too.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
A total judgment of yourself, what you have done, not somebody else judging you. So there's
Yeah.
beauty in that. Who is our own worst critic? Ourselves.
Right.
So
Well, this all kind of flows in with the next, comment right here. It says that this is a great discussion topic.
yeah,
I think people have a negative connotation with the word atonement, as if it is something like an eye for an eye. It doesn't have to be like that at all. It can be a simple acknowledgement of what happened, okay, without any criticism or judgment. It can be a simple, I forgive you for, whatever, or I forgive myself for whatever. Now, it seems like there's been a tendency to make things more difficult, more dramatic, but it's fairly simple.
yep, good comment.
That kind of shows the difference between the ones you read earlier. Atonement in its original state, which is just us to
Exactly,
fix
yeah.
things with ourselves. And like they said right there, it's nowadays people think of it as more from a religious perspective, that eye for eye, and kind of, you have to be atoned for your sins and things like that. It's a whole different kind of different meaning. So moving on to the next one, Miss Daphne, would you like to take that one?
It says that atonement, when you feel for them, when before you didn't, and in coming back, you want to make amends. So they were seeing, this is from the life review.
Okay, yeah. So
point.
this person probably had already went on the other side and came back.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
okay, got
that's
it.
what I'm picking up from reading that.
Yeah, because in this world that we're in now, most people just don't care. Most people are out for number one. I mean, let's just
know.
keep it real. Most
Yeah.
people. Do you really honestly care about your neighbor? Do you really care about that person next door? Do you really care about your brothers? Do you care about your sisters? Do you care about your fellow men? Do you really? No. I mean, people's going to say they do, but do they really? No. But look at the world. Just open your eyes and look around and see what the shape of the world's in. No, this is a reflection of hate. This is a reflection of abuse of humanity, of what, our power and what we should have done and still can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to get too far off track there.
Yeah,
Now, but I like that. But like, say for example, if you were holding a grudge against someone, or go fix it, guys. And like I said,
Exactly.
like this person said here in the last one, what you had just commented on, They was kind of like having this kind of towards anybody and everybody, but they said once they had their near death experience, and then when they came back, they wanted to atone. They wanted to make amends. They wanted to love everybody and fix everything. So you see how this stuff works. You know, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, and the next one says, never heard of atonement in any NDE. They all describe a life review as a positive.
There you go.
What we were saying previously.
Life review.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that makes the most sense to me. I mean, it really does. It's in harmony with the loving God, or what we call love. If God is love, you know, and a lot of these NDEs, I've heard them come back and God, you know, they said, I'm ready for my judgment. You know, am I going to burn? Am I going to be tormented tonight? And he just laughed. He said, you know, that's not the game I'm playing. I'm here to love.
It reminds me of the book from Nicole Kerr, You Are Deathless, because she said in her experience that, you know, she was heavily influenced by her father, who was a very religious man, and in meeting and face to face with that source God energy, that it was nothing compared to what religion had taught her. So in her having her face to face with source, she knew that religion was wrong.
Absolutely. And she's not the only one, Daphne.
Right. You know, the God of religion is not the God of the other side. And I mean, that's something I believe in. I believe in the greater, if you want to call it God, the source creator of all things, of these NDEs. That is the greater God, if you have to call it God. Because how loving is it to be, okay, you made a few mistakes here, but I'm going to punish you forever if you didn't accept my son.
Right, which ties into the original question of this particular episode, you know.
It all makes sense
if there's the
to me,
atonement for sins, then how do you come down here to learn? Because you have to make mistakes to learn. You know,
Exactly.
your biggest learning things in life are going to come from pain, are going to come from your mistakes. They're going to come from things like that that's going to take you to the brink of, you know, just to see what you're made of. You know, that's how you learn, that's how you grow.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one, would you like to read that one? That's pretty big one there, Daphne. You'd like to read it?
It says, I've heard of several NDEs where people go through a period of feeling how they made others feel, quote unquote, and heard it can be quite intense. You are judging yourself, though. I don't think all NDEs are like this. It depends how quickly you come back. I haven't personally had an NDE, but experienced something similar in a sort of awakening where I was aware that I was not in my body. I transcended time and had a deeper awareness of the laws of the universe through feeling and telepathy. Ultimately, from what I learned and what I've heard from others, we choose to come to this realm, and we choose the challenges we will face to learn particular lessons from this experience. I've listened to hundreds of NDEs through various podcasts. It's crazy how similar they all are and how similar they are to my experience. So right there, you have another one that hasn't had an NDE but an OBE, a vision of the sort, and is experiencing the same exact thing as these NDEers.
Right, and that's the beauty of it. That's what really has my interest in it.
That's
you know,
the unity.
Is that unity, that oneness, the synchronization, you can tell there's something to this, and it's from every part of the world.
Yeah, there's unity in these NDEs, whereas in the different denominations, the different churches, the different religions, there's no unity. Even in the denominations, they vary in their beliefs. And
even in Christianity, do you know how many different Christian sects there are?
Oh, I know.
Thousands.
We had an episode on that. Yeah. So, yeah. There's unity.
They don't agree.
Right.
Yeah.
So this resonates as truth for me.
Yeah.
I mean, pure, ultimate, 100% undefiled truth.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's a couple
me.
things to go with that, and this person here brought out, and it ties in what we said earlier. In the life review, and it said that they didn't actually experience this themselves, but they've heard of others, and not everybody experiences it because everybody has different experiences,
right,
of course.
Yeah.
But the ones who do have the life reviews, and it is the majority, but not all, they do. Like it says here, it says they go through this feeling how they made others feel,
Mm-hmm.
and that it can be quite intense.
Oh, yeah. We've heard several accounts where that
I've
happened.
heard that. I've heard of people just wanting to just pass out, but they've
Having
had
to have
those
the angels
guys
lift them
holding
up.
them up
Mm-hmm.
there. When you're sitting here having to watch all this stuff, you have no clue of the damage, even with your tongue, how you can harm
Another.
creation, nature,
Yeah.
life, a soul, anything. Yeah, it's horrible. Now, and I love this part here. You are judging yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that because we were just mentioning that earlier. Now, Daphne, if you don't mind, would you like to comment? And this is something we hear a lot of: is that we choose the challenges that we will
Soul
face to learn.
contract.
Particular lessons from this experience. Okay, and like I said, it's crazy how these are all really similar to this person's experience. But the part I'm more interested in, if you want to comment on that, how do we choose? How can you tell somebody that you actually chose this life? You chose these challenges. You choose to do these things before you even came here. I mean, that was a
Right.
new concept to me when we first started getting into NDEs. I'm not going to lie.
Me too. I mean,
know.
but it has my interest peaked because people have such varying lives. And if we're here to just experience and learn and grow, then the angels and the guides on the other side before we come here or help us in our planning what we're going to do and what we're not going to do, what we want to experience. I've experienced things in my life. I'm like, well, why would anybody want to experience that? But it was something that apparently I wanted to have happen to me and experience so that I could learn something from that. And
for your greater
purpose.
soul, your greater
higher self. Yeah. And it's so interesting to me that I have ordered a couple of books on this specific topic.
Oh, okay.
Journey of the Souls has been brought to my attention through several
That's a really good one. I've heard a
interactions
lot of good
with the
reviews on
group.
that one.
So,
Yeah, I can't wait. If you don't mind, when you get through with that one, toss it this way. I would love to read that one. Yeah. I hear a lot about that one as well.
Yeah, so that covers what soul contracts are and goes really in depth on it.
Okay.
And there's a couple of others on soul contracts that I have ordered as well. And when they come in, I'm going to start reading them. I'm forever reading it. It's like I don't know how I have time to do it, but I do.
Well, and it's all in sync. It all harmonizes with
It
things.
really
Your spirit will
is.
let you know if it doesn't agree with what's going on.
Exactly. I mean, there is such a wealth of knowledge out there and available from people who have had these experiences, who have written these books and sharing this knowledge from the other side. So I am full 100%. Let me learn. Let
That's
me
how you do
grow.
it. Learn from those who've already been there.
Exactly.
That's how you do it. Okay, let's move on. So I like this one here. It says that this person says, I have listened to hundreds of near-death experiences over the years on, say, like YouTube and podcasts and things like that. It says that they really are very similar. It seems that they all have the basic experience somehow, and yet they are all from different states and countries. I mentioned that earlier.
Yep.
That tells me that it is real and not rehearsed.
Thank you.
Was very comforting, but it messed me all up regarding how I was taught to believe what the preachers would shout from the pulpit and wondering which religion has it right. Well, they all are going to be surprised. Really. Just wasting time going to church. We are supposed to just go around and love everyone all day long, however it is needed for that person that we meet. I think that is why we have so much more crime and murder. No one loves anymore, and we, as a spirit, crave it. And as a human, will do anything to get it from somewhere. Just my thoughts. I love how they add that. That just my thoughts is always a humble closing. When people do that, I love that. That's just my thoughts. That's kind of a, but that's how we learn. So
But
good
we
thoughts
were
in
touching
there.
on that earlier. Yeah. I mean, so Spirit felt that it needed to come out through this. So yeah. Right.
And
there
I
you
haven't
go.
even looked at any of these, by the way, you guys. This is my first time literally seeing these as we go through. So none of this is rehearsed.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I went on the website and got it, but Ashton has not seen it.
Yeah. So you can tell that even what we're talking about, these things are coming up and supporting this,
Exactly.
So this stuff is very real. Definitely look into it because it will definitely open up your mind. But here's one of the things I love about it that we hear so much, okay? and I like how he had put it right here. I'm guessing this is a he. It says, it was very comforting, but it messed me up regarding how I was taught to believe what the preachers would shout from the pulpit, and wondering which religion has it right. Well, I can relate to a lot of this. I went through all that myself.
Exactly.
I was heavily indoctrinated in the
J-dubs.
the church world and things like that, growing up and stuff like that. So, well, but you see that a lot, that your religion, you're going to be in for a surprise, and I like how you put it here. I mean, it's just, you're wasting your time going to church. Church is a social thing. You can go there for encouragement, but don't go there to get fed.
No.
Because you are, you're feeding off of somebody else's indoctrination, so you just need to get in tune with nature and get in tune with your real self and what's real, so. Now this next one, next comment here, says, don't stone for sins. In my life review, I saw my actions and how they affected others, but only those that my intent was not loving and was on purpose, if that makes sense. Absolutely, guys. Listen to me. Everything is intent. Okay? Everything is intent. An accident is what we call an accident. You can accidentally harm someone, but you didn't intend to hurt that person.
Right.
Okay? Now, if you intend to do something, you intend to do good,
Or bad.
You can put on a fake smile and do charity all day, okay? But who are you really fooling? You see, what is your intention? Yeah, what is your intention? And like you said, also on the dark side, or if you want to harm something or hurt someone, driving down the road and a kid run out in front of you and you hit them, and that's one thing, okay? You will have to live with that, deal with the repercussions of that. However, it's different than you going and getting a gun or getting an axe and going out chasing somebody that you're looking for, or you intentionally want to go out and harm, you see.
Right.
So what is the intention? So I like that right there, how they put that, And they said that in the life review, they saw how their actions affected others, but the intent, so when you are going through this life review, your intent, I believe, I think would be the main thread going through that whole life review. I think it's going to be such a powerful, to me, yeah, powerful. I think it's going to be, the fuel. I think the intent is what's going to be the fuel that fuels that life review. Think about that. That's just my thought.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Throw it in there. So you would like to take the next one?
Sure. And okay, so this one is a double question statement. So it says, what is the sin? How do you know you have done or committed a sin?
So what is the sin, or what is sin? I'm guessing, huh?
Yeah, I think it's
and then
from
how do you
another
know
area
that
location.
you've done a sin? So what is sin? It pretty much covers both questions. In other words, how did you know?
How do you know you've done a
sinning?
sin? So yeah, it's just looking at it from somebody that has never heard of religion. What is sin?
Yeah, I think from a religious perspective, they call it like missing the mark, like taking an arrow and shooting it at a target, missing the mark because you didn't walk a certain way. However, it really stems from, there are what we would call moral, crimes against humanity. And these would be like your murderers and your thieves, and just the harmful adulterers. But these are harmful, things. So those actually definitely play an effect on what we would call sin. In other words, when you break a natural law,
right?
Because God is the law, okay? God is nature. Okay? There is a natural way of doing things in life. If you, by your will, by your intent, okay, choose to harm or go against something that is natural, it's not natural for us to harm, okay? Our natural state, natural being, is to really just be. We're human beings, okay? Just be. Beings.
I love
Jack
that
and
movie.
the Giant being beings. Okay, so this next one says, it was all-knowing. I was sent back, and I realized that there's no such thing as sin, no right or wrong. There just is. Religion plays no part in the grand scheme. Much love. I like that. Even though, like we just got through talking a while ago, sin could be looked at as, harming or going against anything moral. In the truest sense, it's just a word that we use to describe that. But like it says, it's brought out here, there's really no sin. There's no such thing
it's
as
just
sin.
experiences here.
Yeah, especially like in the religious perspective, that you're a sinner, you're born in sin, you're cursed to sin, to die because of your sins. But guess what? We do have a way out,
Right.
So anyway, different story.
Okay.
Next one. In order for sin to exist, there would have to be a place that was not God. Pure, perfect, unconditional love. I do not believe that there is such a place. It may seem that way in this world, but I don't believe it for an instant. Now, if in this earth dream I become a hateful, hurtful, mean person and have no remorse, perhaps I will return as a victim of hateful, hurtful, mean people. That's just speculation. I have no idea about that.
Wow. I mean, you hear it so many times, and this person brought it out beautifully. In order for sin to exist, there would have to be a place that God was not there. And we see that all creation is of Him. He created all things. Us, the stars, our universe, creatures, everything in it. He is part of that. You can't have sin in that. So this person doesn't believe that that place exists. And it may seem that it is that way in this world.
Next one. We're taught by the Christian churches that we were flawed at birth, calling it original sin. That was the first belief I had to shed because it never resonated with me and still doesn't.
Wow.
God gave us all a gift called free will. Why then would we then be punished for using it or even judged? A suggestion for you is to read the Communication with God books by Neil David Walsh. It's a good book to start with, in my opinion.
I got that book ordered.
Oh, yeah, I love David.
Yes, he's got some
Beautiful
good
soul.
information out there, yes.
Beautiful soul. Yeah, I stumbled across him maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. And he's just got this really peaceful, easygoing coolness about him, and yeah.
Kind of like Bob Ross.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I like this, that, if God gave us a free will, how does that tie in with sin? I mean, I understand, like, if you have a free will and you go against something you were told or something, how that can be, abusing that free will. I understand that perspective, but
yeah, I actually, this totally resonated with me. If God gave us a gift called free will, why then would we be punished for using it or judged? I get that. That totally resonates with my now belief system. When I was in the church, that did not resonate with me.
Did you see how this next comment, another person said that what is the point of free will if we don't feel free to use it?
Exactly.
Next one. Many years ago, not too long ago, after I lost the majority of my hearing due to ototoxic medication I was given while in a coma for a ruptured appendix, I saw a movie about a deaf culture entitled Children of a Lesser God. That title always bothered me. I couldn't understand it. Then I read the Communication with God series. As God described the church's description of their concept of God as a separate entity with an ego.
A big ego.
That can hate and punish. In his words, who would worship a God like this? Anyone who did wasn't worshiping me. They are worshiping a lesser God.
Wow.
I'm beginning to get a clearer meaning to the name of that movie now. Daphne?
Wow. I mean, and this is that Communication with God series books that I just ordered.
So the children of the lesser God would be the children of religion, I would think.
I would think so too. It ties
so
perfectly in with
God,
it.
yeah.
But God stating that, in his own words, who would worship a God that is punishing and has an ego? I mean, really pour your heart out. Think about this. I mean, they are in God's own words, they are worshiping a lesser God. And coming from religion myself, through the different denominations, different cults, I call it now. From what I know now, I know that higher God that is brought out in this. I get that. I understand that. That is beautiful the way this was brought out for me. I know it really resonates for me.
Yeah. So when you get through with that book too, toss it this way.
Yeah, it'll be on the shelf.
Okay, so next one. Actually, Daphne, you want to go take that one?
Actually, we're here to remember who and what we are and to experience that. That ties beautifully in again with my Remember book that I just read.
Yeah, remember who you are. I mean, remember that you are God. You are spirit. You are source. You are life. You are all of this, okay? And, you were having an experience here in the physical world as a human being.
Make the most of it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, don't get so down
and
on
we're all
yourself.
Connected to all the little bugs and the trees and the birds and the bees and all that good stuff. So anyway, while meditating, here's the next one. It says, while meditating, I asked the purpose of life.
Ooh.
I heard a clear response. And it's a quote here. You are here to learn and you are here to love. And then I started researching death and discovered NDEs, where I've heard over and over that same phrase, and the fact that there is no hell. There is God and absence of God, and we put ourselves on that spectrum. Live the best life you can.
Wow. Yes, exactly. Like we just said, live the best life. Love the life you live.
And live the life you love.
Exactly.
Perfect. And harm none. That's the key to all of it. That is the key to all of it.
Yeah.
So, well, it looks like that pretty much wraps up our episode for today. Some pretty good comments there, Daphne. Any overview? What you get out of today's episode? So
that's what I was going to ask you. Why don't you answer that one first?
But I asked first.
Oh man, come on.
Okay. No. All jokes aside, just I love everybody, and I just want to say, just to do the same. Just love everybody, regardless of their beliefs, regardless of where they're at in their walk, regardless of their concepts of what reality is or what spirituality is.
Right.
Because we are all in this together. We all are one. We all are headed to the same place, whether you like it or not. But you will reap what you sow.
Right.
All the harm that you do, it will come back to you, either in this realm or without a doubt in the next realm, probably in your life review. So do the best you can do. And if you've done any harm, do what you can to fix it now. Because trust me, it'll come out in the life review. It will. You'll still probably feel that, but you'll also feel that how you made that person feel. You made just made their whole world feel better.
Exactly.
Just by coming there and let them know, hey, I'm so sorry. Sometimes we hurt others without even knowing it. Right. Just acknowledging that, it could really just change their life in a drastic way. We just don't know.
Exactly. A simple hello, a simple looking at somebody in the eye and smiling can change someone's life. I mean, that ripple effect, that one drop in the ocean is going to have that ripple effect, and it's going to affect so much. So be the love, be the light.
And let love be that drop of water. Don't put no hate into the sea of existence.
Very good point.
There's plenty out there. Let it be love. Let it be love. And on that thought, we love you all so much. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to go to the NDE WORLD website for more information. And I think we're going to go ahead and wrap things up, Miss Daphne. How's that?
Sounds good. It was a good episode.
Let's do it. Peace to you all, guys. We love you so much. Until next time.
Y'all always let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.